Hi everybody, I'm Jen. Wanted to share an unexplainable. Some of them are beautiful, they're little ones, and some are kind of more out there. This one is really an unbelievable, unexplainable. This was shortly after my divorce. It was a very difficult and challenging time for me, and I had remembered something my former husband had said, that when he was a child and his parents divorced, it was traumatic for him to watch his mother crying all the time. So I tried to only be upset when my kids were at school. So I didn't have work this one school day, and I decided to just let out every emotion, and the floodgates were opened, and I didn't know how I was gonna make the next pay the next rent, and it was really, really rough times. And I just cried and cried and cried, and you'd think I'd run out of tears, but I didn't. And I just laid in bed and faced the window, which meant my back was to the door. And then you know how you start hiccuping when you're crying real hard, and tissues are all over the place, and I didn't care. I just gave myself permission to just feel what I was, feeling all along. And well, then my bedroom door opened, and even though my back was to the door and I couldn't see who it was, it was it was an adult that had walked in, an adult size person or being had walked in, and I was so upset that I didn't even care. I was so busy crying, and I thought maybe if it's a maintenance man or whatever for the condo, which doesn't even make sense because I would have needed to let him in, but I wasn't thinking straight. I was just in full out distraught, and I just thought they're going to see that I'm crying, and who cares? They'll turn around and leave, and I just didn't care. The thing is, they walked towards the foot of my bed, and then walked towards the side of the bed that I was on, and I kept my eyes closed, and I know my crying stopped, and then I thought they're going to notice that your crying stopped, Jen, but I didn't care. I was so distraught, I just didn't care. And I know that sounds awful, but that's the state I was at right then. And so I kept my eyes closed, and you could just hear but also feel the air move when the person walked, and I could feel them staring at me. They stood still when they got close to like mid-body, and they came around to the window side of the bed, and I kept my eyes closed, and then they sat on the mattress, and the mattress went down, and I wasn't scared, which didn't make sense to me, but it didn't matter. I was not scared. And they put their hand on my shoulder and stroked my arm down to my elbow, and then went back up to my shoulder and stroked it. They were comforting me. I didn't know who the stranger was, but it was soothing. I grew up with nannies, and I didn't have a nanny. I wasn't a kid where a nanny was going to stroke me like that, but was just caring about me, and which got me crying, but in a yearning. I miss this kind of love. I didn't really have it since my nanny, so I just craved that. I craved it, and hadn't had it for, let's see, I was married with them 20 years. So, I just, that kind of nanny love where it was just unconditional and just proactive TLC. Oh, it was that kind of love. It was motherly love. It was just beautiful. And when I acknowledged it for what it was, then the hand moved up to my top of my head and then stroked. I was laying on my side, so then stroked the side of my head down to my shoulder, down to my elbow, and just started back up again. It was amazing. It just melted away. I'm going to start crying. It melted away all my troubles. Like someone cared, Someone cared. And then I asked, without speaking, may I please, please, please peek and have it not disappear, because I knew in my heart that it was not of this world. And when I felt like I got permission, I opened my eyes the way you would look at a Christmas tree. We did, even though we didn't grow up with a religion, because each of our grandmothers, continued the Christian religion. Then, I grew up with Christmas trees. So, but you know how you squint your eyes, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who did it, but you squint your eyes and you can make the Christmas lights twinkle more. Anyhow, so I only squinted my eyes, and between my tears, I could peek out, and I call her the liquid lady. She was pure light. She was so bright, but there was form to her, and she was so bright, and she did not hurt my eyes. She was so bright, and she was iridescent, and there were colors in there, even though she was clear. And I knew she was a she, although the features on her face, I don't even think there was the form of a woman. It was just a very feminine, maybe robed figure, but it was just liquid. And I closed my eyes again, and she walked away. And it still touches me to this day, because I know I'm not alone. And, I can only put this under the unexplainable category. And as you can tell, I'm moved to tears here, and it's a beautiful thing. So even if we cannot see them, we do have benevolent beings that are there for us, even at our darkest hours, where we don't care if a stranger's walking in the room. So if you're a certain religion or not a religion, or think there's a gamer in the sky who's messing with our software, I think whomever is out there does care about us. And that's kind of why they're waking us up to the ME factor. I do believe there's help, since they have come down to help me during my dark times. Thank you for listening.